So when you ask, how did human beings evolve? The first signs of evolution came from Australopithecus and Homo habilis. Okay. These were the first primates to split off from other primates. Now, when that happened, here's what happened, Black. Monkeys, orangutans, and all those other ones went this way. Human beings went this way.
Why they separate?
So this is the split of human beings and monkeys. So when you say, why do we still got monkeys? Because they split off from us millions of years ago.
Why?
Okay. And now we have another branch of humanoids. Okay. That means Homo sapien, Neanderthal, other primate or humanoids, I should say, other humanoids that split off from that. Okay. So for all those people who are watching who say, well, why do we still have orangutans and apes and chimpanzees? Because Australopithecus was the splitting point of both of those different families.
Okay, so give me a I don't know, maybe we got different understandings of the word itself. Because I think maybe that will clear up why our perspectives are different. What is your definition of evolution?
My definition of evolution is a genetic and environmental change in a living organism that is adapting to a new environment. Okay. That's my off the top definition of evolution.
So that's not based off, hold on, that's not based off scientific proof or evidence.
It's based off of genetics. It's based off of, so you could call it science. Yeah.
Did you read that out of a science book?
I just told you I told you that's my off the top.
Oh, that's your opinion. It's just your opinion right now.
No, that's a fact. Okay.
So your opinion is a fact?
No, I'm saying that's a fact. I'm not saying I got it. I'm saying I understand the definition of evolution, and that's what it is.
What is the actual definition?
The actual, you want the dictionary? You want to talk to the dictionary? Or you want to talk to me?
Yeah, the dictionary, because that is where.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. The dictionary is online. You could go look at. If you can go online and look up the dictionary version if you want, but as long as you're talking to me, you're going to get my definition of that word.
So long as we clear.
No, it's not even. It's not my opinion. It is a fact. Until you can prove it otherwise. If you go in the dictionary and you find that it's not that, listen. You asked me a question, Black. I gave you an answer. Don't play semantic bullshit, man.
No, this is
okay. No, you're playing semantics bullshit. What I'm saying, hold on, listen. What I'm saying is, you asked me a question. I told you, don't ask me for the definition version. If you want the definition version, go look it up, and then you deal with that. Okay, but this is my definition. I understand.
That's not.
I understand the definition of evolution, and I told you what it is. So you can either believe that or not. I don't care.
Listen, who's ever listening, this is not how you go about a scholarly debate.
Yeah, because you play semantics BS instead of
has to come down to
you're playing semantical BS instead of being genuine with your question. Why are you asking me for the dictionary definition? If you want it that bad, go look that up. I told you what the definition is. You can either accept it or not. Do you believe that is evolution or not? Do you believe what I said is evolution or not?
I don't believe that you know what it is because
you tell me your opinion then.
Well,
You
I
tell
don't
me your
believe
opinion.
in it like you believe.
Okay, then if you don't believe in it, then don't tell me what the hell it is. You obviously don't know what it is.
Scientific description and definition.
I just told you what that is. Look, listen, man. Listen.
You don't believe
Black. This is a circular, stupid argument, man. Okay, and you're playing semantical bull. Okay, that is the definition. The definition is a change in biology and a change in behaviors and a change in genetics based on your new environment. Okay, that's what evolution is. That's what happened to a lot of the animals on islands. They had to adjust to a new life. Okay, they had to adjust to a new life. So they had to genetically change themselves in order to adapt to their new environment.
Okay, I got you. I got you right there. I got you.
Okay.
You said they had to. I'm going to acknowledge what you said again. You haven't done it for me yet. And I know why, but I can do this for you easy and keep, killing things. But they basically had to adjust to a new environment and change in order to live and survive in that environment, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Based off the surroundings of that environment, their genetics had to change. Boom, right?
Are you drunk, man?
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I got a yes. All right, so, but the monkeys are still here. They didn't change.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm wondering, did they not get the email?
Oh,
you were supposed to change because you was in the same environment as the one that changed. How come you ain't changed? Wait a minute. He skipped school. He was truant for class that day. He didn't get the memo. He didn't get the email. Somebody didn't text him. He didn't get informed. He was supposed to change to his environment, the same environment as the other one that became something else that can speak and talk and build airplanes and create Teslas today. He didn't get I'm pretty sure he pissed off that he didn't get to change. Somebody didn't give him the email.
Let me explain this to you, and please
same environment.
Listen. Let me explain this to you, and please don't interrupt me. Okay. This is how it went. Pay close attention. Don't interrupt me.
Is this scientific or your opinion?
This is my opinion on how it happened. Okay, you can believe it or not. I don't give a F.
Say whatever you want.
Listen. I'm trying to Black. I'm trying to get you to understand how this is possible.
I'm not going to understand your opinion.
No,
say it though.
You ain't got to. You ain't got to believe it or not. Just listen. Here's how it went. Here is my idea on how it went. I don't know if you watched Chimp Empire on Netflix. Okay. But there was two camps. There was two camps in Chimp Empire. There was the east, the south side, and the west side Crips, something like that. Anyway, there were two different empires in Chimp Empires on Netflix. They're all chimpanzees. All of them are chimpanzees. But one camp had a lavish fruit in their territory. Mm-hmm. Chimpanzees are very territorial.
Keep going.
One of the camps had a lavish fruit in their camp. They vigorously defended their territory. Now, here's how I think it could have happened. Say, for instance, there is a lavish mushroom in the West Side camp, and it's not a lavish mushroom in the East Side camp. The one in the West Side camp with the lavish mushroom that is probably psychedelic. It grows brain cells. It grows a cerebral cortex. It grows, and the West Side camp of chimpanzees have access to this psychedelic that helps to them to adapt to a new environment. It gives them psychedelic thoughts. It helps to grow their brain, and they split off from the East Side chimps. Okay, they have changed their biology so much due to other resources of food. They are on a long journey to becoming human beings. However, that East Side group of chimpanzees did not have access to this food source, so they never change. This is how it is possible for Australopithecus to become a new species, because they had access to psychedelic mushrooms, or they had access to meat, or they had access to other nutrients that the West Side or the East Side camp didn't have. So that West Side camp became Australopithecus. Why? Because they had something that was helping to grow their brain and their frontal lobe. And a lot of scientists, I'm not saying that this is fact. This is a hypothesis. It's not even a theory. A theory is pretty much fact, but a hypothesis is just a hypothesis. A hypothesis saying that they believe that a group of chimpanzees or something to that nature, or primates, they were dabbling in psychedelic mushrooms to the point that these mushrooms sparked. This is why they say when you take certain type of mushrooms and certain type of drugs, you leave the planet, because there's another herb or drug too. It's all natural too, and they say it just wipes your brain clean of you're not even the same person. Some celebrities took it. Ryan Brenner, I believe, or Brian Brenner, or Dave Chappelle. They took this. I forgot the name of it, but my point is, when you take some of these mushrooms and that becomes a part of your diet, your brain is reset. Your brain is reset, and it can start to evolve and develop into something else. And this is what they say they believe sparked evolution in primates, is psychedelic mushrooms. Okay, this is why a lot of the mushrooms that you can buy now are very good for your brain. Okay, very good for your brain. So that's how it is possible for there to be a road to humanity, and for a road for another group of primates to stay where they are. They never had access to that avenue of nutrients at that time. And not only that, but other conditions could have been a part of it. Okay, if you're dealing with high grass, you got to see your threats. So they decided to stand up on 2 feet. Okay, they decided to stand up on 2 feet and started walking on 2 feet instead of 4. It's easier than using all 4. You have you have some appendages that are free to carry things. Okay, you've seen primates, monkeys or whatever, that use rocks and tools to crack open nuts or do things of that nature. You've seen that. So let's not pretend like they're so far removed from humanity that it's not that it's impossible for this to happen. Then they're not that they're not that far from humanity. They're 98% DNA. So what happened is when DNA was discovered, that pretty much sealed the evolution, because not only could it be suspected, but it can be traced back with DNA, tracing us back, tracing down the whole animal kingdom. Okay, so that's how I believe the road to humanity started, with one camp of primates having access to a certain nutrient that the other camp did not have access to. Because if you know anything about chimps and other primates, they're very territorial of their surroundings, of their area. They will kill other primates that come into their territory. And like I said, human beings are territorial too. So let's not pretend like there is no similarities here. Okay? So that's my answer. Now, you can believe it or not. It's totally up to you. Use your cerebral cortex that makes you so divine and make a decision. All right.
It's a hard pass on that.
Okay.
It doesn't make no sense to me, but I understand that's your opinion and it's what you believe. And I listen to the whole synopsis, the whole breakdown of that goofy ass shit you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the dumbest thing I've heard. No wonder you got D's and E's. Wow, okay.
Whatever, nigga. Did better than you in school, but anyway.
Hey, he did, but you know, hey, I'm self-taught. But now I need facts. So
give me your rendition on how it went down then.
Well, my rendition is it went down how the Bible says it went down to me. I utilize the actual word of God, the creator of heaven and earth, to get my understanding. So my understanding is what he said happened. And I don't deviate from that as best as I can. And I understand science has a role in this place, because if you recall earlier in this conversation, I don't believe in a false balance. So what does that mean? That means science is real. Science actually is a real form of measurement, of understanding, of knowledge. It just means to know. That's what science means, to know something. So yes, the aspect of science definitely is real. It plays a part. Evolution in an aspect, yes, to some degree, yes, is real. It plays a part, but to completely usurp the creator's rendition and breakdown that was already previously given to us, that explained it all. And because we've never read it or never understood it for ourselves, but we went right to somebody who tried to study something. It's as if the person that created a patent for a car created the patent, and then somebody else, a student, wanted to learn how to create a car and studied the patent itself, and then came up with their version of how it could be different here. Aspects could be changed there. And you can come up and pull from that a whole different synopsis of what you think a car could be or should be. But the bottom line is, it was already created. You're studying what was already created. You do not ever on any level get to usurp the creator of what was already created simply because you're studying what was created. The one that created it gave you the breakdown. The one that's studying the creation don't get to usurp him now, is my point. Science has its place, but it needs to stay in its place. It does benefit humanity. It does have a role. I'm not denouncing science. I'm not goofy. Science is real. Engineering is real. All of that. Yeah. Even evolution to some degree is real. I'm acknowledging all that for the record. I'm acknowledging that. But I'm not acknowledging that mankind, human beings, evolved out of a subhuman creature. And now we're all of a sudden human beings, and the subhuman creature is still in the same environment that they were supposed to evolve out of. But we're standing here looking at them like, oh, we're here, you're not. Catch up. They still there in the environment. How come you ain't changed? How come you ain't evolved? Listen, aspects of the breakdown of what you just broke down makes no sense to no logical, factual-based, informative person. It just don't. I understand it's how you feel, but we established it's how you feel from the very jump. So I'm not gonna knock you for how you feel. That's fine. But it just don't have no place in factual, edificational conversations. And that's my position. We are human beings created in the image of the Creator, who in fact is a melanated, woolly-haired, superior being that is not from this world, supernatural. I'm talking about he has characteristics that we can see today that are supernatural. The fact that you can feel somebody's vibration when they staring at you from across the room is, for scientific reasons, unexplainable. But spiritually, it's explainable. We understand that every spirit is an energy force. Spirit is energy. That's all it is. It never dies. The spirit never dies. It only transfers. It is energy. And when you break down the actual name for what people generically call God, because that's a generic term, it's a title. His name is not even God. His name is Elohim. Elohim means power, absolute power. Power, without power, energy doesn't exist. Without energy, life does not exist. The Creator is power, and he manifests out of his power everything that we see, experience, and know to this day. And he influenced mankind, holy men, to document exactly what the experience was while he was creating it, and the experience of his son, and experience of his children, the chosen ones that were set apart from all other human beings, because we're not all equal. He even have a chosen people that he elevated above regular human beings. So of course, gorillas, apes, chimpanzees, monkeys aren't on the same level as even base human beings. But out of those human beings, he even elevated a chosen people that he called his own, his special chosen people, the 12 tribes. So in closing, man, I heard your opinion over and over. I don't mean to be disrespectful or nothing like that. It is your opinion. I get it. At one point, I thought it was all scientifically based. I now based off these conversations, come to find out that is very loosely scientific. It's more about your opinion and your disagreement with scripture. And my position is not even based off something you read, it's based off your opinion, something you heard. So at this point, I'm good on all these conversations because we're not going off facts at all based off your disagreeing with my position. And I'm going off facts based off disagreeing with your position, or spiritual facts, I'll call them, because it's based off something I've actually read for myself, not opinions or nothing like that. Like you.
All right, so you're it's funny you call my stuff opinions, and you you can provide no factual proof of any of your claims. You say you read it out of a book that someone else wrote, someone else authored, someone else edited. Okay, but you're using that edited book as being fact. Let me tell you, that is wrong to do. Okay, just the same way you claim I have my own opinion about something, someone else had their own opinion about something and they put it in a book. Okay, that don't mean it is a fact. Why is it not a fact? Because you can't trace it back and it is not testable.
Okay, so let me pose a standard that we can prove is fact or not, based off my position and what I believe in. It is true, like you said, because I'm reiterating what you said because I heard you, right? You said it's based off a book that somebody else wrote and they had opinions in your loose opinion, right? Now, if they wrote something, because previous to that statement, I told you it was divine. God used his divine influence on human beings to write these
How do you know that
scriptures
for a fact?
So this is what I'm getting to. You know it's a fact if he wrote it and it happened.
What?
In real life. If he wrote in the book, people who disobey him, his people, will go into, for instance, they will go into slavery by way of slave ships, as it is recorded and written in the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And they literally, some people, thousands of years later, literally go into slavery by way of slave ships, exactly how he said. And not only that, but they will be sold unto their enemies for slave men and women on auction blocks. And that literally happened too.
The question is, how do you know it's a fact, Black? Is it testable? Don't give me what was written in the book. It's all conjecture because it is not proven to be a fact. It is still based on someone else's opinion that they put in the book. Give me a fact that you know that the person was writing it was divine and anointed by God to write those words. How do you know that to be a fact? How do you know it's not something that is used against you and your people to keep you programmed under a certain regime so you are controllable?
Okay, so let me answer. They wrote it. They died. It happened. It came to pass. It was true. That is a
fact. That's your proof of it being
literally
a fact?
happened in real life.
That's your proof of it being a fact?
What's a better fact?
Can you do better than that, please? Give me something else. That proves nothing. That's not a fact.
So listen, if somebody wrote something and then said this is going to happen, and then later on it happens, You trying to tell me that's not sufficient enough evidence for it to be a
No.
fact?
Let me tell you why. There is something called cycles. Okay. There's something called cycles. What a lot of people really took advantage of, especially in the Bible and religious teachings, is they took advantage of known cycles that were going to happen. They
So
knew
wait a
that
minute. We're
wars,
talking about
hold on. They knew that wars were going to happen. So they wrote that in the Bible as being prophecy. They knew that famine was going to happen. So they wrote that in the Bible to be prophecy. And what they were taking advantage of were cycles that always happen. And they put it in the Bible as to say, oh, well, there's going to be sickness, there's going to be war, there's going to be famine there, but they have knowledge enough to know that life goes in cycles. Okay, we're in a cycle now. It is not prophecy, it is predicted. It's a bit of a, I wouldn't call it a magic trick, but it's psychological. It's something that they use. They take advantage of cycles. If you look at Wall Street tycoons, right? Wall Street tycoons know the cycles of the market. So they say, "Oh, we're in a bear. Oh, we're in a not, the bear, and then they're a bull. We're in a bull market." So they know the rhythmic ways of cycles. So they look like they predict when to buy stuff. They actually do predict when the prices are going to go up. So they start buying stuff because they know they're going to be in a bull market. It is the same thing. Okay. It is the same principle upon Wall Street tycoons that they use.
okay.
The only
So that's
difference is they put it in the Bible as cycles, and it fooled a lot of people with these all these predictions and all of these. I'm not impressed.
Okay, so that's your statement. You claim it's a cycle. Now, where did you get that understanding? Where did you read that?
There's actually, I read that somewhere. There's actually a word for it.
Where did you read that?
Hold on. It's a word for that, and I forgot what it's called.
Because it would
but
be
it's a different type of.
Listen, okay.
It's a different type of cycle.
Until you can remember. Do you understand how astronomically difficult it would be to predict what happens 3,000 years later?
Well,
as a cycle,
no,
and it
I
only
don't.
happened.
I don't.
And it only happened. Listen, and it only happened once. Exactly how it was spoken to happen once 3,000 years later. Do you understand?
Well,
how astronomically difficult
okay.
that
Well,
would
let me
be to
answer. Let me
predict
answer.
as a
Let me answer
cycle,
the question.
because
Let
it
me
didn't
answer.
repeat itself.
Let me answer the question. No, it wouldn't be difficult. You would know how you. First of all, a lot of predictions are very loose, and they're very, what I find is that a lot of people tend to, interpret things in a way that favors the prediction. They see it could rain in hell today on us, rain on our heads and hail, and they will say the Bible predicted that hail was going to happen today, and they do that by reinterpreting what it said. It's all a convenient way to try and write something. Yes. So what I'm saying is a lot of things.
That's a lie, actually.
No, that's not a lie. A lot of things.
You're not basing that off the Bible, right?
I'm basing that off of, look, again, man.
This is your opinion, right?
Black, let me finish. Okay. These are the things that.
Come on, man.
These are the things that, first of all, you got to understand something. These people were not slow, okay, back in biblical times, if you want to say. They were not slow. They had information, they had knowledge, they had wisdom of certain type of cycles. They had knowledge and wisdom on certain types of behaviors. They had knowledge of the stars, astrology. They had knowledge of, when things would happen and when they wouldn't. Now, what they did is they sort of put some things. Look, I don't want to be critical, because I know a lot of people are very religious, and I get that. It's hard for me to say a lot of stuff without sounding a certain type of way, but I'm gonna just say that a lot of it is mind control and manipulation. And the reason why is because they wanted you to believe in what they believe, so that they know that you are with them. And if you are with them, you are easier to control. Okay. So what they did is they took advantage of certain types of cycles that happen, and they based it on generics. And when certain things happen, people pull from the Bible and say, oh, well, it was predicted. When I put it this way, if I got something specific,
hold on,
listen, I'm saying, if I got something specific, I would be more impressed with those things. Like, if you could point to a Bible, who would have told me what was going to happen at 9/11 and how it was going to happen, I would be more impressed. But what ends up happening is that type of stuff, that specific type of stuff. And this is what psychics do, or fortune tellers, or palm readers do. No, what I'm saying is they take generics, they look for tells, they take generics, and they give you a message that could practically relate to anything. And you pull from your own life experience, and you say, this is what they were talking about.
All right. Now, I've heard you. Because you made 37 different points.
All right. So and they were all valid. So go ahead.
I got to try to rebuttal 37 different
you
points.
Ain't gonna make none of them, but go ahead.
The issue is this, man. All of that was based off your own, I ain't gonna say ignorant opinion, because I know you never read the book, so you don't know what's in it. So I understand that. I'm giving you that grace because you don't know. And what you don't know, for you to be scientific, which means to know, is almost laughable that we're going back and forth. So I got to make that statement.
Well, that's a BS.
It's my turn.
No, you can't make that comment without me responding to that. That's BS. You're not aware of all the things that I've read, and you can't disprove nothing. So you got to try to make an invalid point. I could say you haven't read a whole bunch of scientific books, and therefore you don't understand them the way that you should, and that makes them all true and valid. And I can make the same argument as you. So cut it out with the whole thing and reading the books and all of that other stuff. Okay, because at the end of the day, all you got to offer me is your opinion, and that is it. Because you ain't offering me no facts. You ain't offering me no facts that can be tested or anything.
Now I'm about to give you the real rebuttal. All right?
Go ahead.
Put yourself on mute. Get out of your feelings.
Go ahead.
Just listen. One of the things that it says is basically in Deuteronomy 28, he says, it will be on you for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. That's Deuteronomy 28, verse 46. A sign. God is going to put curses on a particular group of chosen people for disobeying his laws. Basically, it's a heritage to have these laws. He gave his chosen people these laws, and they chose to go against them, believe in science, believe in rats, believe in, Allah, believe in whatever they believe in, a golden calf. They'll believe in anything but the true and living power that created them. So he said, that's cool. You're going to embarrass me like that? All right. It's a host of things I'm going to do to identify who you are, especially in the last days. And coincidentally, I tend to believe that we are living in the literal last days. So he said it'd be on you for a sign and a wonder. People are going to wonder in these last days why they go through what they go through. And it's going to be on them for a sign, the curses. One of the curses is you'll have a wife, and this is verse 28, verse 30. You'll have a wife, and another man will lay with her. And you'll build a house, and another man will dwell in that house. Now, these things happened in slavery to where you had no power over your own wife. Somebody else could come and take your wife and lay with her, and there was nothing you can do. You could build the house all you want, the big house, but another man will live in there. You'll be in the outhouse, right? And another one is basically you'll have kids, sons and daughters, and they'll be given unto another nation. Your sons and daughters will be given unto another nation. And you'll have no might in your hand to get them back. Now, that too happened during slavery. Another one was, I mean, the list goes on. There's a plethora of identifying markers to identify what is going to happen, and to the tune of the specificity that it is breaking it down. It literally happened accurately and precisely as it was written 3,000 years prior. Now, you have to understand, you could give somebody a command today specifically to do something. 3,000 years later, you can't depend or know with any type of assurity at all. You better not put your last dollar on it that it's going to be carried out specifically how you wanted it carried out 3,000 years later. It just ain't going to happen. People will lose interest 20 days later, a month later. They will lose interest in your will being done. You ain't that powerful to carry something out 1 month later, let alone 3,000 years later. So what I'm saying is, and I'm proving, these things that were written in here happened in real life, specifically to a group of people that lost their identity. Ironically, this is describing the lost tribes of Israel specifically, and you can identify them as the lost tribes. And the reason you have to identify them is because he said, listen, you're going to be given into another nation. You're going to be lost. And I'm putting them on you as a sign of who you are. A sign, what does the sign do? It indicates and identifies something. So he literally told you, I know you're going to be lost. You're going to be in a whole nother country. You're going to be sold to your enemy as bondmen and bondwomen. But I'm going to give you a sign to know who you are as a reminder. There are so many specifics, facts, you could call them, that literally carried out and really happened in real life to where it's undeniable. What was said and what happened matched beautifully. That to me is believable beyond any shadow of a doubt. Okay. Now, this not my opinion.
Yeah,
this
no,
literally happened.
No, that's your opinion.
In real life.
That's your opinion because
you're trying to tell me it didn't happen?
I'm telling you, you can't prove it to be fact.
It didn't happen? Slavery
I'm saying happen? You can't prove it.
It didn't happen?
I'm saying
you saying slavery didn't happen?
Of course, slavery happened. I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying all that other stuff you're talking about.
Did the ships?
Let's get back to evolution, man,
were our
because
children sold off?
we're getting off of the subject, okay?
No, it's
And
the
the
same
subject
subject.
is evolution, okay? Now, do you believe in Homo erectus?
I don't believe in
Homo
none of that. None of them
on
homos. No, I don't
huh?
believe in none of that. I don't believe in none of that.
No Neanderthals?
I don't believe in all that.
You believe in Homo sapiens?
Them breakdowns, how they determining them. I don't believe in all that.
So
I
you
don't
don't
know.
you don't believe in
And
Homo
one of the
sapiens?
reasons why, listen, one of the reasons why is because I have not had a reason to study into the Neanderthal doctrine or the Homo erectus or all the other homos.
But
I don't believe in all
so
the
if you
homos.
haven't studied into them, then they must be fact because you
Must be
haven't
fact because
read.
I haven't.
Yes, because you haven't read the books that they are in and explained thoroughly what they are. So
Break them down for me.
that
Break
must
it down for me.
mean that they are fact, right?
No, break it down for me then. What is a
Well,
Homo
I'm okay.
erectus?
Homo erectus. Homo erectus is a species emerged around 1.9 million years ago and was the first to have a body structure similar to modern humans.
Okay,
They
so
had a
listen.
larger
Okay,
brain size, they used tools, and were capable of walking upright for long distances.
all right.
Okay,
I heard what you
that's why
said.
they are
So
Homo
now,
erectus because they were standing upright.
all right. So now, with that being said, where's the body or group of Homo erectus right now? Where are they at?
Homo erectus, like many other humanoids,
Where are
are
they at right now?
extinct. They're extinct.
Extinct?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I?
How long was they on the
about?
Earth? How long was they on the
They're
Earth?
1.9 million years ago.
But how long were they dwelling on the Earth scientifically?
Scientifically, why? What difference do it make?
I'm asking you the question.
I don't know that. Why?
Okay. So you saying they came and went pretty much?
They came and went.
They just poofed and they was gone.
Just like a lot of species on Earth. Yes.
So I'm talking about
actually like 99% of species that existed are now extinct. Okay.
I'm gonna have to get my
so
question
let's not play games though.
You satisfying yourself, but I'm
not satisfying myself. I'm trying to make a point.
Answer
99% of the species that ever existed is extinct. So let's not make it seem like they should actually still be here along with 98% of the
you said everything
species.
You wanted to say. Good for you. That helps me none. I'm trying to get the questions answered.
I know, but you're not listening. That is the problem.
Because I'm asking.
Because in the community, when you're communicating with someone, you like to think that they're listening to what you're saying, so that they can have a better and complete understanding of what you're saying.
Listening. Let's wrap it up.
So they existed 1.9 million years ago.
I'm trying to ask you an honest question scientifically, and I'm looking for an answer.
What is that? What is the question? What is the question?
I don't need you to make blind.
What is the question?
It ain't helping me.
What is the question, bruh?
So like I just was saying. So they came, they evolved based off your previous statements. Their environment, from what I understand, would have triggered them to evolve and change, right? So where is the rest of them at as of right now?
They went extinct.
Okay, what happened after them?
You had other versions of humanoids.
Name them. Which one?
One of them was the Neanderthals.
Okay, where are Neanderthals at right now?
They're extinct as well.
So they gone. Neanderthals.
They gone.
So how long were they around?
400 years ago. 400,000 years ago.
400,000 years ago, the Neanderthals were here.
Yep.
How long were they walking around, dwelling on the earth?
Up until 40,000 years ago.
No, I'm talking about how long, from start to finish.
About 360 years altogether.
You said 360,000 years.
Approximate.
So, okay. And then after Neanderthal, so Homo erectus was one thing.
I'm just trying to get where the point you're
No,
trying
I'm
to
asking the
get
question.
to.
Don't try to jump nowhere. Just
What?
answer. So
I answered the question.
Homo erectus, right, was first. Then came Neanderthal, second.
Well, I'm not saying second. I'm saying he Neanderthal was out of that branch.
I'm asking you chronologically. I'm trying to get the understanding here. I didn't read it, which is why I'm asking the question. So I need you to just tell me.
I told you 400,000
Homo
years
erectus
to 40,000 years.
Right? Homo erectus first, Neanderthal second.
I'm not saying that's an order. I'm saying they all split off.
Okay, can you go in order? Can you go in order?
No, there is no order. They all just split off from one species.
Who? What do you mean split off?
Okay, let me start over. Australopithecus was the beginning of the new branch. Okay? From the new branch, they all split off from Australopithecus and Homo habilis. One of the branches was Homo erectus. Another branch was the Neanderthals. Another branch was Homo sapiens.
And is this around at the same time?
The sole survivors.
This is around the same time?
It was around the same time.
Same time?
No, I'm saying, there are different branches.
I get it. But
okay,
around the same time.
It was in close in proximity, give or take 200,000 years. Yes.
Are they different from one another?
That's why they have different names. That's why they have different names. Yes, they were different genetically. That's why it's a different branch. Okay. So let me give you another one. Let me give you another one. Homo sapiens. That's us. Homo haliburgis. Okay.
That's after us?
That they're one group. Don't worry about whether they before or after. They're just another.
I need to know that. That's important.
Why?
I need to know it.
Why?
I like to know that stuff.
Okay. Homo haliburgis is from 600,000 years ago up to 200,000 years ago.
So you're saying they're after Homo erectus. And we're supposed to be Homo erectus. That's what you're saying.
Homo erectus is 1.9 million years. They're the oldest one.
Okay. Homo erectus is 1.9 million years ago.
Yeah, they're the oldest one.
And who was the one 200,000 years ago?
200,000 years ago. There's not, well, I'll put it this way. Okay, look, man, you need to get a pen and paper. If you're serious about this, you need to get a pen and paper.
I hear you, okay? But just for now, entertain this.
Okay.
This is what you do.
Okay.
Right?
Here's the information I got. Homo erectus is the oldest at 1.9. Now, Homo erectus came from Australopithecus and Homo habilis. Okay. But Homo erectus is the sole survivor of all the other branches. Okay. And the earliest one I got from that is Homo haliburgis, which is 600,000 years ago. Neanderthals are 400,000 years ago. Homo sapiens, us, is 3,000 years ago. Okay, so we are one of the later branches.
Is there anything that came after us?
Yeah, there is one called Homo floresiensis or something like that.
What?
Homo floresiensis.
What is that?
That is also known as the hobblet. Okay, you know the hobblet. It's a smaller stature species that lived in Indonesia. So it's only 100,000 years ago. So it's after Homo sapiens.
So technically they're not human. They're not us.
No, but they came after us. They're younger than us.
Are they aliens?
Really?
They're not human.
Really?
They're not human. Are they more advanced than us then?
They're just a different type of species, man.
But are they more advanced?
They're extinct. Okay.
They're not even here.
They're not even here. They've been gone for 50,000 years.
They've evolved after us, and we still here. Where they go?
That's why Homo sapien is the winner. Because we're the only ones that are still here. There was a huge bottleneck. There was a huge bottleneck of humanity. Some of it was during the Ice Age. Okay, some of it was during climate change. A lot of them, soon as Neanderthals came in contact with Homo sapiens, they started to disappear. Why? Because Homo sapiens were vicious. They hunted Neanderthals. They used dogs to help them in a lot of ways. They were more advanced technologically than Neanderthals, and some would say they even spread disease. And another thing is, which is kind of weird, is that Homo sapiens could procreate better than Neanderthals. Okay? We could procreate. Me as a black man, I can have a baby with a Neanderthal woman, but a Neanderthal man cannot have a baby with a human being woman. Okay, they were not compatible. The black woman and the white Neanderthal man were not compatible. But the black man,
Neanderthals were white.
Yes.
So are you saying they were sterile?
I'm not saying they were sterile. They could have babies with Neanderthal women. They just couldn't have babies with human or human women.
All right, where are the Neanderthals today?
They're extinct, man.
All the Neanderthals are extinct.
Well, I would say genetically they're not extinct.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is everybody out of sub-Saharan African has a little bit of Neanderthal DNA. So they're alive genetically, but they're not alive as a species.
Well, isn't your species based off your genetics?
Yeah. But that doesn't mean you can't live genetically. Your genes are still turned on in other species. Okay. If you have the genes for chickenpox in your species and you procreate with human beings can live, but they can still get those chickenpox that Neanderthals gave them. Okay. That's what I mean by living in the genes. Some would say that Neanderthals had a bit of a personality of a autistic child. If you Neanderthals were, for all intents and purposes, autistic. But no, I mean, look, that's just what some, if they had to explain their personalities. But let me tell you, autism means you're very focused. It means you're very, it's a disability and it's an advantage at the same time. So
it's only a social disability, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. You're hypersensitive.
You're hypersensitive. Yeah. You don't,
but it's just,
you're only concerned with yourself.
It tripped me out because like they call mongoloidism Down syndrome. And it's just off topic, by the way. So mongoloidism, Down syndrome. And some would say that, basically when Abraham uh, got with, his, no, not Abraham, my fault. It was a biblical breakdown of how a whole genetic birth bloodline was created. Two daughters got with their father, and they weren't supposed to. His sons were dead. He didn't have any sons. They got him drunk, and they slept with him, and they went against God. And out of that, the girls chose to do this. By the way, the father didn't. He didn't even know what he was doing. He was pissy drunk, and basically that birthed a gene that was never in the earth prior, and that gene pool became what we know. Some people would say as Asians, and they look and their features are similar to what we was called Down syndrome. People who have Down syndrome have sort of, and it's not to be disrespectful, but they have sort of, their eyes are shaped a certain way, and the features is what I'm talking about, and they're hypersensitive to certain aspects, and they're brilliant in certain aspects. And so yeah, I agree when you bring up the autism being a, they hypersensitive, they hyper focus in certain things, and some would say it's a superpower if they can harness that superpower. But to say the least, like, genes do play a part in the beginning of people's genetics, has a place in my understanding. Based off what I read, I understand where it came from, and it shows up today, and people study it and then go behind it and then write conclusions and get exalted. And that's what I disagree with, because it was already documented what happened and what it was. So with that, I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna give you a salute for the back and forth and the conversation.
Yeah, salute to you, King. I appreciate this conversation. Look, listen, y'all. Everybody don't always have to agree on everything. There are a lot of different ways to understand things, a lot of different ways to grasp concepts. Some people choose one way, other people choose another way. I would say live and let live. Don't try and judge people based off of what they believe. I don't judge anybody. I hope don't nobody judge me. Live and let live. Believe what you want to believe. What you eat don't make me ish, okay? And vice versa. And it is all good in the neighborhood. At the end of the day, it's all about love and trying to understand this thing called life and this universe that we live in. All right. Black, a lot of y'all don't know this, but me and this dude came from the same parents, mother, father, grew up under the same roof. Yes, that's my brother. You would never know it the way that we look or the way that we talk. And we totally have different concepts on how the world is, but it's all good. It's all good. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, share, and subscribe for this. This was dope. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Shalom.